Hello, everybody. I'm Ben Gromiko from InterNACHI, and this is an InterNACHI webinar. And we do free online, live, interactive webinars all the time and on all kinds of topics. And today's topic is about the advanced features of InterNACHI's online agreement system. So thank you, everybody, for showing up. I'm going to do a little introduction and talk to you about what the agreement system is, and then I'm going to take the baton and pass it to the fellows that we have who are going to show you the features of the online agreement system. Again, I'm Ben Gromiko from InterNACHI, and we have InterNACHI CEO Chris Morel,
Hello.
Bogdan Karchenko from InterNACHI's Director of Software Development, right? That's your
Hello,
title, I
everyone.
think it is.
That is correct.
Skylar Katz, software development. And we are going to talk about, well, what is the agreement? So the agreement that we're going to talk about is a contractual agreement between the InterNACHI home inspector and your client. And you get this developed and signed before you step on the property. So that's that contractual agreement that you have to get signed between you, the inspector, and your client. And we have some advanced features that we want to show you about the InterNACHI online agreement system. And we also want feedback from you as well, especially if you're a user of the current system that we have. So on your side, there should be two buttons. There's a chat feature and there's a questions feature. Feel free to use any one of those. We'll monitor the chat and we'll monitor the questions. So if you're joining this live, fantastic. All InterNACHI webinars are recorded. So if you register for the webinar and you want to watch this later, it'll be recorded on our system as well. So the online agreement system, it's free, it's online, it's open to every InterNACHI member who's a certified inspector. We've got templates. We have state-specific templates. We have an electronic signature, so you can send the agreement to your client, and they can get it on their mobile device, and they can sign it with their signature. And it's customizable for any type of inspection that I do. So it's not just for home inspections. It's for all of my different types of inspections. So if I'm a mold inspector, or if I'm doing an infrared inspection or a pre-drywall inspection, I'm going to get me and my client to agree using this online agreement system. And so on that note, I'd like to give it over to the software development team. And fellas, thanks for being here. And what do you want to show us about the agreement system?
Hey, thanks for putting this together. And thank you everyone who's here today. I think while we let folks sort of join us, where I see the attendee count keep on jumping up, I want to give
Yep.
people another minute or two. So before we really get into it, I'm curious how many folks who are watching currently use the online agreement system and how many are just here because they're interested in it. So if you want to drop in the chat or in the Q&A, I'd be curious to know. Especially, I think one of the things that we're really hoping for today is that members who use the existing agreement system get a chance to see the upcoming changes and give us some feedback. Just sort of give us a gut check on the direction that we're going. We're pretty excited about some of the updates that we're making, and I hope that y'all will be as well. It looks like we have a couple of people saying that they use it. They also use their software. Some people are just curious. So the existing agreement system has been around essentially since e-signature legislation passed. I remember when the e-signature digital signature first law passed, and Nick and I were looking at it, and we thought, well, this has got to be something that we make available to our members. So we put together the original agreement system, and that's been running for years now. I mean, over a decade. Um, and I think generally, I know that our members have been really happy with it. It's one of the most popular features of the website, and it's been really solid. But digital signatures have changed a lot over the last decade. Anyone who has used something like DocuSign knows that that process feels a little bit different than what the InterNACHI existing system feels like. And, the expectations have just changed. Most people are doing things on their mobile phones now or on their tablets. Um, and we need to react to that. So those were some of the reasons why we sat down and decided to really go ahead and revamp the system. I think the biggest one is making things really solid for the mobile experience and just updating the design to feel, like it makes sense in 2025 and to meet some of the new requirements around digital signatures, especially um, better electronic signature disclosure, which is something that, depending on the state or country that you're in, has different requirements that we want to make sure that we're always up to speed on. So, uh, that said, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to sit down and walk through what the new system looks like. Um, Ben and Bogdan and Skylar are mostly going to be paying attention to chat and Q&A. Um, and we'll bring up things if they come up as I go, and I'm just gonna start walking through it. So without further ado, unless Bogdan or Skylar, you have any other thoughts, let's get into it. All right. So okay. All right. So my chat just went away. So give me 1 second to move things around so I can see what people are saying.
No problem. And Chris is logging into essentially the membership dashboard, and members can access all kinds of stuff, including the online agreement system, through their member dashboard. And so everything is like managed through this portal, right?
Yep. 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 So this is the InterNACHI members only dashboard. I'm logged in as a test user. This is what everyone should be fairly used to seeing when they log in as a member. Um, what you'll notice is now, in addition to the fetch report system, which is a great way to host your reports for your clients to access, there will be a new agreements tab. Um, and this is what you will see when you log into the new agreement system. You'll see all of your existing agreements from the old system have been seamlessly imported into here. There's a few new filters, so I can just filter out to unsigned or signed, and I can actually do a quick search, and you'll notice that the search is really fast and really good. So that's going to be a really nice feature for members to be able to find old agreements quickly. But like I said, all of the agreements from the existing system have been imported in here, so you won't be missing anything. But there's also some new features for the new agreement system. So let's just take a peek at some of the existing data, and then we'll look at what signing or creating a new agreement looks like. And finally, we'll look at what the client sees. So I'm going to take a look at this agreement sent to Sarah Homeowner. I can jump straight to download the PDF copy, but I'm going to jump over here to view. And you'll notice that this just looks a little different. We still have what the content of the agreement is. And you can see their signature, their IP address, the date they signed it. All of this has been updated to look nice, but it is essentially the same as what you would be used to. But one feature that we added that I think folks are going to really appreciate is now you can see all the recipients that this agreement has been sent to. And if I click here, I can actually see the email history for that recipient. So I can see that an hour ago they got this agreement, and I can see a week ago this other agreement that I sent to this client. They opened it twice and they clicked links 3 times. So email tracking is notoriously hard, and depending on the email software that your client uses, it's definitely going to be hit or miss. We can't guarantee that those numbers are perfect, but it's a useful way to say, okay, I sent this agreement over. Before I go and bug them, let me see, did they actually open it, right? Um, you also see, if I send this to multiple people, I can see who was the one who signed it and when they signed it real quick. Um, so that's accessing your existing agreement. So you can also click here to download a copy of the agreement as a PDF. That's going to be generated on the fly for you, and then I can take a look, and it's just a nice backup copy that you can keep around if you want. But the agreements will always be in here for you to access later, so you don't need to do that. Um, so now, let's take a look at creating a new agreement. So I'm just going to go here, hit new agreement. You can also access that from the sidebar. So I could do the same thing to get here. And this is also going to be, I think, a familiar interface to anyone who's used the system before. Essentially, in this box are all the templates that I have marked as my default templates.
Hmm.
Now, in general, so maybe by default, I just use the InterNACHI residential agreement, but maybe I'm sending, I want to include the annual inspection clause in this particular agreement. And also we are doing a home energy inspection. So we're going to add that. I can drag and drop to change like change the order that they show up in the final document. This is just going to be, putting these templates together. And then once the agreement is sent out, this is just structured in a single document that doesn't change, right? Even if I go and change my templates, past agreements aren't going to be updated. Um, so I go ahead, I hit continue. This is, I think, a really nice new interface. Skylar worked hard to make this look really beautiful and fluent for folks. Um, it's similar to the existing one in many ways, but you'll notice a few new things. So I'm going to send this to Ben, and Ben will be my client. So I'll add him as my first recipient. But now I can add as many recipients as I want, and I can mark them as different types of recipients. So I can go in here and I can say, Bogdan uh, is going to get a copy, but he only has read-only access. Um, and maybe Skylar is also um, authorized to sign it. I'm sending it to Ben. Ben's going to be the one who's likely to sign it, but Ben said, "Oh yeah, send it to Skylar too. He can sign for me if he wants." I can choose again whether or not I'm going to include the logo. I can choose whether I want to allow an agent to sign the agreement in addition to the recipients. And then this is for some states, you're required to sign the copy of the agreement yourself. And so um, you can read more about that in this little link. We'll leave that out for now. Um, by default, when I'm editing an agreement, I just go in here and I tab through, um, you know, as however I want, just working through the individual boxes that I've defined earlier in the agreement. There's still an advanced mode, so I can go here and I can just edit the entire text of the agreement, and you'll notice that now there are some basic formatting, so I can mark things as bold or italics, and I can add bullet points, etc. Um,
Chris, do you want to show highlighting a background color?
highlighting a background. Oh, yes. I can also see here. Go here and where is that?
That might only be in the template mode.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
we'll show it
John,
later.
John asked that. He said his main interest is being able to highlight certain aspects of the agreement system because it's an insurance company advisement. So
Hmm.
his
Yeah,
insurance
we
Yeah,
might
company
have
wants him to highlight.
only enabled that
for
in the
templates.
templates, but
Okay. If not, we can add that to here as well. That's a good point. So we'll get to that in the template view. But once I'm happy with the agreement, I click this button to create it. And now I get to send the agreement to the recipients, right? So we'll see we're sending it to Ben, Bogdan, and Skylar. It's going to be coming from InterNACHI, but replies will go directly to my email address. Um, this is a template that you can define once, and then you can make changes. So maybe I just want to say like, hi Ben. Um, And uh, when when I'm sending this, I can choose to save this as my default message for future sends. I can also go in and change that later. And if I want to, I can skip this process entirely and just send the client a link directly. Now, I know historically that's what members have typically done. Um, it's going to be it's going to be better to send the agreements through the system now, because this will generate a secure link that gives them direct access to sign, rather than having them type in their email address and then verify their email address and then get a secure link. So in general, you'll probably want to use this, um, but you can always skip it and just send them the link directly. So I'm happy with this. I'll send a copy to myself as well, and I will send that off. Now we have one more agreement that was sent out. Um, if I go over, we can see this is the email that was sent over. So, hi Ben, a contract has been created. I'm going to open up a new incognito window so we're logged in as a different person and click this button. Oops. I will copy the link and open up this incognito window. So this is what the client is going to see. What's going on here?
You opened the one from Bogdan who was listed as read only, so that's why.
Oh, there we go. Thank you for that. So this is what you'll see if you are a read-only recipient, right? You can see the agreement, but there's no option um, to sign it. So that's a nice new feature. If we go back into the mail, okay, here's the one to Badin. Okay, here's Skylar. Here's the one to Ben. So let me copy this link. We'll open a new incognito window and paste that in. Okay, so this is the new signing experience. And I think that this is going to be the thing that folks appreciate the most. This has a feel that's a lot closer to other document signing experiences on the internet now. We can go here and we can see the record disclosure, and you'll see that this is actually a disclosure specifically generated for this agreement. So it'll have all of the legally required information, including down to, the specific browsers that we support accessing, which is going to be all modern browsers. But all the different things that you're legally required to share with folks who are doing e-signatures are in here. And one thing of note is part of the requirement for doing digital signatures is that folks are required to have the option to do a paper copy, right? So if a client requests a paper copy, you must offer them that option. And if they notify you that they are withdrawing their consent to digitally sign, you have to request a paper copy instead. So that's something that's on you. It's not something that I am aware of ever happening, but just be aware that that is part of this process. So once I've reviewed the signature disclosure, I have to go ahead and actually agree to use electronic records and signatures. I continue. I review the entire agreement. There we go. And when I'm happy with it, I can sort of see the details of my signing experience, right? So I can see where I'm signing from and the browser that I'm signing with. This is going to be information that's stored in that digital signature file. If this was forwarded to an authorized representative, I can check this and sign as an authorized rep. If not, I'll just go in and I'm just going to commit some fraud and sign as Ben Gromyko. And we've got this nice signing experience here. This works great on mobile. And I have to do one more check mark before I submit. And so now my agreement has been signed. The IP and browser signature has been stored in our electronic signature, and we still have access to the disclosure right here, and the client can download a copy of the PDF as well for their records. If they want, they'll also receive an email. And if we go back over here and we refresh, we should see that now my agreement with Ben was signed. I can go in and view it. And we can see, okay, it was signed 39 seconds ago, was accessed 12 seconds ago. And here's Ben's signature and IP address and all that. So I think that covers the signing process. The last piece is managing templates. So over here, we have a bunch of InterNACHI official templates. These are templates that are managed by InterNACHI and are a great place to start, but usually you're going to want to create your own template that's custom to your business and that you've worked on with your own lawyer. So I can go here and edit my existing template, or I can go in and create a new one.
So Chris,
Yeah.
Brian asked a little while ago if he can use his own template. And so obviously this is, you can just create your own templates with the assistance of your attorney and put it right into the system and use it.
Yep. You can create as many templates as you want, and you can combine the templates however you want. So
and customize it, fully customized. We
fully
have
customized.
we have a couple folks who are saying, like John and Brian are saying, that the bolding is really important in some states because it's required. In Texas, it's not enforceable unless a certain part of the agreement is bolded, underlined, and somehow otherwise made to stand out. So you have those features to fully customize your inspection agreement within the system.
Yeah, and I'm realizing that I think Skylar, I thought that I had fully updated everything for this demo, but I might be missing
Yeah, you're missing the latest
missing the highlight thing.
editor.
I'm going to try to pull that down real quick. Just bear with me here. We'll see if I can
share my screen for a minute too.
Okay.
And you guys made this point in the beginning of the webinar that you want people's feedback. So if there's something missing that's critical for your business, the software development team is open. So how does a member provide feedback about this agreement system or have a request that we can put on the to-do list?
I mean, I think in general, we'd love the feedback right now.
Yeah.
But for anyone who's watching the recording, or if you have a thought later, there's always this little chat widget down here. You can open this up and send us a message. And that if you provide some feedback there, that feedback will be routed to us. Or you can always, email fastreply@internachi.org, and that can get routed to us as well.
Cool.
So pretty much any way that you contact InterNACHI regularly, if you have feedback for the agreement system, just put that in the subject line or something like that, and our team will make sure that it gets to the right place. You don't have to do anything particularly special.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know why the highlight function is missing. I just pulled everything down and refreshed, and it looked it's gone. But either is it working on your end, Skylar? You want to share for a second?
Sure, I can share for a second. This is why we said we're still putting together all of the bits and pieces here.
That's why it's called a preview and not a launch.
Yes. So here's when you're editing a template, you can highlight, and we have some colors that are safe for printing and accessible for people with certain visual impairments. So that's why we've chosen some of the colors that we've chosen here, and can highlight.
Wow.
Um, there also will be, so in the template, you'll create these underlines. And when you go to create a new agreement, that is what creates the text boxes. So if you have a large underline, it will create a larger text box. If you have a smaller underline, it will just be a smaller input field. And it's not here at the moment, but there will be a button to just insert these underscores. You can do that with your keyboard, or there'll be a button to kind of like quickly create blanks and inputs.
David asks, when he sends out an agreement, sometimes it pops into the client's spam folder. Is there something that can be done to help this?
Yeah, so that's something that we're always working on. Email deliverability is such a hard problem. And especially for an organization like InterNACHI, where we send out a lot of content on behalf of our members, we have to be really, really careful to make sure that we're on top of anything that goes out from our domain. So we work with a third party provider that manages deliverability for us, and we have some of the the best scores in our industry, but that doesn't mean that things aren't going to go into spam. The best thing that you can do is, you know, always make sure that if something does go into spam for a client, ask them to move it out of spam. That's going to make sure that that signals to their mail provider that future email from that address shouldn't be marked as spam. And we are constantly, doing everything we can to improve our deliverability. Actually, the feature that I showed, where you can click on an email address and see whether the mail, whether it was sent or delivered or opened, is a part of a larger change that we've made to our email infrastructure to improve some of the
So,
visibility into that stuff.
how
Um,
about
yeah.
two other ways to communicate the agreement to my client? Could I text a link that my client can click, and can they pop in and sign the agreement? And then could I just simply embed some type of an agreement system where on my business website, all my clients can go there and find their agreement?
Yeah. So the there are a couple of additional ways that folks can get to their agreements. Let me actually go ahead and show one other workflow because folks are
Cool.
going to run into this. Um, so if I go, let's again open up a new. So if I go to the view agreement page, right? So this is how you would have typically sent people before, was just send them to this address and they
Yeah.
type in their email address.
Yeah.
You can continue to do this. So it's a new URL that this www.test will be www.nachi.org when it goes live. So you can send folks to this address. They can go in and type in their email address. So if I go in and type Skylar, um, I have to do a verification. Usually this happens without your client having to see it, but if it looks like there's maybe a risk, they might have to check a checkbox. So they type in their email address and they hit continue. Um, because they're just typing their email address directly in, and we haven't verified that they own this address, we now require an email verification step. So it's gonna send an email and tell them to check their inbox. So if I go back to the mail, we'll see that now there's a new view agreement link, and that will take me directly to this agreement.
Mm.
Now, because the agreement was already signed, there's nothing that I need to do. But if it was unsigned, because Skylar was marked as an authorized agent, he would still be able to view the agreement. But that's a perfectly fine workflow, and you'll probably send some folks that way just because it's easier. I also think one thing that we should probably do is provide a way for you to get a direct link to send your client, so you could text it to them or something like that. That's a good idea, and that's feedback that I think we'll add.
And Skylar, sorry, and Skylar, what's Julie saying? Julie is saying she has a really good idea. Do you understand?
Oh, like just a like finding an easy way, a quick way on this page to get a direct link
Yeah.
to be able to text
Yeah.
to their clients.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if we maybe up here some quick button to get an access to this, um,
And the
maybe
other thing
in
is
this
that,
bar as well.
in the old system, it was cumbersome to pull all of this up on mobile, but the new system from the inspector side of managing the agreements and the uh, client side of signing the agreements is all, they can pull it up on their phone and sign um, without issues.
And Brian's mentioning all this is confidential, right? It's secured within this isn't on like an
Yes.
open website or something.
All the data is only associated with your account. You have access to it, but only you and your authorized clients have access to it.
Okay.
Yep. The other point that you were making, Ben, was there is a little website embed. This is the existing embed from the old system.
Yeah.
I think that this is something that we hope to build maybe a more sophisticated embed in the future. But for right now, you can copy this code and give it to your webmaster, or paste it into sort of like an embed widget in your website builder if you use sort of a drag and drop website builder. And that will put this where they can type in their email address directly, and that essentially just jumps them to that verification page without having to do that first intermediate step.
InterNACHI's official vendor for website designs does that for their clients. I know.
That's right.
And actually, it's a really brilliant idea because like they've already been to your inspection business website. They saw your stuff, they clicked every button, and they scheduled probably through your website. So you just tell them go back and now visit the agreement.
Chris, you could type in an email address in there and show what your clients would experience when they click go.
Is this, I think this, yeah.
Yep.
So if this was in your website, you can type your email address, hit go, and that's just going to take you to this page.
Yeah.
I have to do the verification again and hit continue, and it's
Oh,
that
that's
same
awesome.
process again.
Yep. Cool. That's great.
Yeah, let me just show you. So I'm going to bring up it's called developer tools, and we'll just size this to sort of the mobile phone-ish size. So again, you can see that this whole thing is mobile ready. If I go ahead and create a new agreement, whereas before this was the, multiple columns, on mobile, it's single column. And same thing here, you walk through it in a more linear fashion, but all the features that you are used to are just fully mobile, and the signing experience is the same way. If I go over here into the menu, I can access all these same features going into my notification settings, for example, and update my default notification or whatever it is. So all that just works out of the box. The question in the past, agreements had a feature that would use my email. Yeah, so your email will be the reply to on the message that gets sent out. So even though it says from InterNACHI, which has to do with the deliverability question, we need to send emails from our verified domain to ensure that they get delivered properly. But when the client hits reply, it'll go directly to you. And like Skylar said, when you're sending out a new agreement, you can always choose to copy yourself. That would be on the next page, actually. But Is there anything else? Ben mentioned this briefly. This isn't exactly part of the new agreement system, but I do want to just point out we have all these incredible state-specific agreement templates that you can work from. And these have been worked out in partnership with our partners at InterNACHI Insurance. So Joe over there has been an attorney representing inspectors for many, many years. And because we're running an insurance business, we know exactly what sorts of things are effective in agreements, and because he's worked in either in or with co-counsel in every state, he knows what is and isn't permissible, or what is or isn't effective in different states. You're still going to want to take this to your own lawyer because your own case is always going to be unique. But these are going to be a tremendous starting point for any inspector. So each one of these is different, and each one of these accounts for, different details. Does the state allow limiting liability? Does the state have any formatting requirements or specific content requirements? All that's going to be at least set up as a baseline in here for you. And each of these, you can download the template as just a file that you can open up in something like Microsoft Word or any word processor, or you can import it into the agreement system as your own custom template. So instead of including these as the sort of default custom templates like we do with some of the other more generic ones, this actually pulls a copy of it into your account as a custom template, and that way you can make changes as you and your lawyer see fit, and set that up as your default. So this is a great feature to take advantage of. And that's been around for a year, but it works perfectly with the new agreement system as well.
And Brandon asks, when's this new agreement system going to be launching?
That's a great question. I mean, for the most part, all of the technology is mostly sorted out. There are some little UI tweaks, like the highlighting thing, that we need to make sure work consistently. And there are a couple of little things on our to-do list. The biggest thing that remains is making sure that because the agreement system is so incredibly integral to our members' workflows, we want to make sure that as we're transitioning from the old system to the new, that we don't have any downtime for our members. So that's sort of the last piece of this, is to make sure that the migration process is really, really solid, and that it's resilient to any little blips that are always going to happen when you're moving millions of records of data over. So we have a pretty good strategy set up for that, and it's mostly working, but we want to stress test it a few more times before we go live. So we're targeting the end of the month. That's not necessarily a promise, but that's the current goal. And I would be surprised if the new system isn't live by October.
And I love that you're sharing your screen right there. So like there's on the left-hand side, you see the agreements, but above agreements, you have Fetch Report. And so in between the two is your report writing software, right? So you get the agreement signed, and you can customize it, fully manage it from your dashboard. You do the inspection report with your software, and then send your clients the link to the Fetch Report so that they can download the report that you've produced. That's really great. Anything else? Bogdan, Skylar, any other thoughts?
Just that all of your existing agreements in the old system, if you create any, tomorrow or next week or anytime before we migrate everything, when the new system goes live, those will all be transferred over. If they were unsigned before, they'll continue to be unsigned. Any links that your clients have in their email from those old links, those will continue to work. It'll just seamlessly send them to the new location, just as the old links would have. So you don't have to worry about your clients. You can send out, you can continue to use the old system, and everything will continue to work as we migrate to the new system.
Yeah, that's something that, thank you, Skylar. That's something that we're trying to be very, very mindful of, is I know that our members really rely on this system. We want to make sure that this transition is as seamless as possible. Um, and yeah, you won't have to do anything other than one day you'll click the link and instead of going to the old system, it'll go to the new system and all of your things will just be there and it'll work just as we've shown here with hopefully a few little improvements.
Awesome. Well, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you everybody for being here and giving us your feedback. And like I said earlier, if you think of something later that you didn't think to mention in the chat just now, go ahead and email fast reply, and we'll get back to you. And yeah, hopefully we'll have this in your hands in less than a month.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Bogdan. Thanks, Skylar.
Oh, there's one last question that came in.
Oh, David.
You will not need to change your existing embed on your website. So again, continuing the theme of continuity, we don't want to make anything break for you. So if you have the existing agreement system code embedded on your website, that will continue to work without you having to change anything.
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
I look
All
forward to
right.
the agreement system.
Thank you, everybody. And thanks, Ben, for putting this together.
You got it. All right, everybody. Bye. Stay safe. See you later.
Take care.